Hey you gorgeous lot, welcome to another theatre vlog. I'm with my brother. It's round 2 trying the new cast of Stranger Things because last time, as you know, it didn't go that well and I'm still kind of mad about it, so I'm a little bit scared that today is going to be the same, but we are front row and I'm so thrilled. It's his birthday present technically, so we're on the train to London now. We're going to get there, gonna have dinner, we're gonna go to the show, it's gonna be a great time. I am also, in this same vlog, going to see Hamilton with my boyfriend at the Mayflower tomorrow. It's the tour and I'm so excited, especially to see Shaq as John Lawrence and Philip, because he used to be in Book of Mormon and I've heard fantastic things about this touring production, so I can't wait. There is a surprise coming about something I did on Saturday. You're just gonna have to wait for that, but for now, I'll see you when I get to London.
So we made it to London about 5 PM, that was the plan anyway, because we didn't really have anything that we wanted to do besides go and see the show. So we went to Tottenham Court Road and we went to Wasabi. This was my brother's first ever time trying sushi. He's wanted to for a really long time and he actually really enjoyed it. I love this spot for something quick, cheap and easy, and it ticked all the boxes for us. So then we went to the theatre on a full stomach and we were sat front row and I was so excited to get another chance at seeing this cast. So we are here, we made it inside, you just saw our view, it is incredible. If you know the show, you know why I'm so excited. It's really dark in there, plus there's a lot of people in there and I don't want to film in there, so I'm doing this. Now we do have some covers on, that doesn't mean I won't talk about the other guys I saw, even though I didn't do that in the last one because everyone ruined the experience for me. Again, you know, talking about the people behind, but we've got Harry Ames going on as Henry Creel, and we've also got a bloke called Luke Mullins playing Dr. Brenner. Apparently though, he was like the principal one that they cast into the new cast, so Josh, the guy I saw in January, wasn't him. He was an emergency cover. Still amazing, still gonna chat about him, but I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll find a way to chat to you in the interval. If I don't, I'll see you at some point.
I'm gonna keep this very brief because there's a lot of people and it's intimidating me quite a bit. Callum Henderson. I did not just say Callum Henderson. Callum Maxwell as Bob Newby is killing it, and I am actually loving Harry as Henry Creel. Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk more afterwards. I'm liking the different Dr. Brenner. Obviously, you know, you see more of him in Act 2, but he's bringing something different, I can tell, and I can tell I'm gonna love it. So I'm gonna go enjoy Act 2 with my brother. He's also really enjoying it, so I'll see you afterwards. Hey everyone, so I know it's been a while since I've filmed any sort of reviews. I've got plenty of notes here, don't you worry, but I'm finally getting this video out to you 2 months later, which I know isn't great. I'm trying to get better. It's really hard when this isn't like your full-time sort of job, you know, you have to find time to do this stuff, so I do apologise. First up though, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things. Now, I am going to first talk about the cast that I had on this visit in this video. Then I will go back and I will talk about the different cast members that I saw in April. Because yes, it was the new cast for both shows, but I had a different Brenner and a different Henry this time round. So the first Henry Creel I'm going to be talking about is the one that I saw in this video, in this production, played by Louis Healey. Now Henry's supposed to be the odd kid who doesn't really fit in with everyone else. He behaves odd, but not as odd as Lewis McCartney did. I think McCartney had more of the creep factor. I feel like Healey does a lot more trying to fit in with everyone else, but it doesn't quite work because he can't. In my opinion, Healey matches the vibe of Patty Newby a bit more, just because both of them are trying to fit in, but it doesn't quite work. He's more quiet, he's more reserved and shy, but ultimately him trying to fit in with everyone else does make him a little less suspicious, even though the other kids still make fun of him. But with him being very similar to Patty, you know, she doesn't really see him as a threat, she sees him as someone that she can get along with. for the first time, by the way. You know, they find each other and it's actually really adorable. I love their relationship in the show. I'm about to talk about Paddy in a second. But yeah, Lewis was amazing. Lewis Healey. Obviously I have seen McCartney. It's so amazing that he's gone to the Broadway production. I find that Healey is also more terrified of his own powers. You know, he's scared of hurting Paddy, you know, everyone else that he loves, and I really like the contrast where I feel like McCartney was kind of embracing that and trying to make his powers a part of him, whereas Healey doesn't want anything to do with that stuff because he's afraid. And I think both versions work really well, and I love that there's different portrayals, because especially, you know, Henry is a canon character from the TV show, so I do like that actors can still put their own spin on the role and it still works with the timeline. I'm not sure, because I know that The First Shadow was written by the writers. I'm not sure if it's canon, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if it's in the same canon as the TV show, but I love the story and I love these different portrayals, and I'm going to talk about one more as well in this video, so stay tuned. Next up, I'm talking about Miranda Mafema as Patty Newby. I absolutely love Patty as a character. I think she works really well within the storyline. I don't actually know, you know, why they made her Bob's adopted sister. I feel like it could have been any of the characters. I guess it was to have the Joyce, Hopper and Bob sort of trio, which is one of my favourite, like, dynamics. It's one of my favourite dynamics to watch on stage, and they are hilarious. But I'll get into that in a second. Miranda's voice is amazing. You know, on this particular trip, me and my brother actually heard her rehearsing one of the songs before they opened the doors to the auditorium, which is really cool. You know, I guess they were just getting in some extra rehearsal while they could, but yeah, that was really cool to hear. But yeah, she has an amazing voice. She mirrors Henry and Healey in the sense that they're both weird, they're both nerdy, they absolutely love each other and they go so well together. She's not scared of Henry. In fact, you know, he's herself in him. And I guess, you know, with the ties that she has to her father and the fact that she feels very tied down and very neglected by him, I feel like she finds family within Henry. You know, in contrast as well, she finds Henry's powers really cool, which I feel like anyone would, and you know, I feel like that makes him feel a lot better about his abilities, because like I said, he's terrified of what he can do. He doesn't know how to control it really, and she's sort of his anchor that helps him along. You know what though, the first time I saw the show, I was a bit weirded out by the relationship and the love story essentially, but now that I've seen it a couple times, it does work, and it works so well. Especially in contrast with the play that Joyce is putting on, The Dark of the Moon, where the plot basically mirrors the show that you're watching. Another example of this sort of structure would be Moulin Rouge. But yes, I absolutely loved watching these two together and how their dynamic worked. It worked so well, and I'm excited to see more of them. Moving swiftly on to Joshua James as Dr. Brenner. Unpopular opinion, in the context of the actual TV show, I love Dr. Brenner so much. Josh was a bit less show accurate, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing, because it's not. You know, like I just said, I love that actors can put their own spin on things. With Henry, it's a bit more different because you don't really see Henry much in the canon TV show. Dr. Brenner, you see a lot of him, and Josh put such a good spin on it. I absolutely loved him. You know, if you're familiar with the show, I feel like Dr. Brenner's a bit more toned down from what Joshua put on that stage. Josh went full on mad scientist, and I could not get enough of it. All I'm gonna say is he has a really powerful evil laugh, and I absolutely love him for just going off the rails with it. He's a very strong presence on stage, but he is also very mysterious. Like, you know, you don't really know much about him, but you know enough. All I'm gonna say about him is I love that he's doing his own version of the character. He's so good. He might be my favourite character in the entire show. I'm not gonna lie, like the stage version, he might be my favourite character, and I love his introduction right at the end of Act 1 before the interval. It's done so well. I absolutely loved him. Like, I'm slightly down bad for him, but like that doesn't matter right now. We're talking about the character. Okay, let's be mature. Moving on to Callum Maxwell as Bob Newby. I absolutely love Bob Newby. I think he might be my second favourite character in the show. He's very awkward, he's very bumbling, especially around Joyce, and he's also very smart. He's also very smart and bold. You know, as the story progresses and he gets more and more protective over Patty, like, I absolutely love their brother and sister relationship, even though they're not biologically related. They're still very, very close, and I love that. One of my favourite sort of bits that Bob has is his radio show, and I love how it works in the story and how they sort of do those transitions. It's really cool. If you know what I'm talking about, I absolutely love it, and I think it's also a great intro to the show after the cold open. He seems one of the least concerned people that Patty is hanging out with Henry. He just wants her to be loved, and he wants her to have friends and find people that she can connect with, which I think does strengthen their family bond a lot more. On stage and off stage, Miranda and Callum probably have such a good relationship. Bonus, Callum's a fucking sweetheart. I absolutely love him. And yeah, I cannot wait to see more of him in this role because he's so adorable and I love Bob so much. Moving on to Jessica Rhodes and George Smell as Hopper and Joyce. I absolutely love this pairing. Like I said, Bob, Joyce and Hopper together are really, really good. I love their dynamic as a trio. Now, I know I said I love Bob's radio scenes, but I think Hopper and Joyce share the second best scene in the entire show. Like, I absolutely love it. And you may not know what I'm talking about, but essentially they go to the police station and a fight breaks out and they use the turntable really, really well. Because as it turns around, they move around the set doing the fight scenes, and I think it looks really cool. Like, if it was being filmed, like, for a show, it would just pan around and do, like, one continuous shot. So I think that's done really well. I'm a sucker for a turntable. You'll hear more about that in this video when I talk about Hamilton. That's not what I'm on about right now. Within the trio, Jessica has the controlling edge of Joyce. She's very bossy, she's very firm, and I absolutely love her. You know, at the start we see that she's wanting to get out of Hawkins, chase her dreams. She's very bold and confident, and I absolutely, like, she's such an empowering role. And her relationship with Hopper, there's very much, like, power dynamic, and I love it. George as Hopper, like, he's very loyal, he's very brave, and he's a bit of a sucker to Joyce, like, he sucks up to her a lot, and his relationship with Bob is hilarious, especially because Bob kind of wants Joyce to notice him and be his girlfriend, and they have a lot of funny scenes with that. When they go to the Creel house, the trio, it's a hilarious scene. Hopper cuts himself on his arm and just, like, freaks the fuck out for, like, the whole scene, and it's really funny. I think they nail the characters so well, and like I'm saying with everyone, I literally cannot wait to see more of them, because this show, like, it's not, like, my favourite in the West End, but it is up there. Like, I absolutely love it. Being a fan of the show helps, you know, but these two were amazing.
Now we're gonna cut to something a little bit different. We're gonna cut to what I did on Saturday. Now, this is the mystery. What did I do on Saturday? Well, I went to Piccadilly Circus to go to the Piccadilly Theatre to see Moulin Rouge because my friend had a spare ticket. Are you kidding? This was insane. This was absolutely insane. Fully front row can seats, the walkways right there. This was mental. And as you can see, I was joined by the lovely Danielle. This was just insane. We had the diamonds in our little thing, like, it was so cool. And, you know, I probably wouldn't be able to get the money to do this again, at least not anytime soon. Like, I still can't believe this happened, even though I'm recording this months later, but I would like to show you the insane photos I got from the pre-show. How cool is that?
Okay, so the one person I want to focus on for my Moulin Rouge visit, which, can I just say, one of the coolest things that has ever happened. Like, that was absolutely insane. Those seats are really expensive. The fact that My friend was just so generous to give me that seat for free. Like, I am so grateful for that. Anyway, we saw Dean Reed as the Duke. I have seen him play Harold Ziegler before, but this time I saw him as the Duke. I prefer him as the Duke. I think he was a lot better at being the creepy, controlling guy. He is my second Duke, not counting Simon, the OG London Duke that I saw that one time that was really cool. He's my second kind of official cast Duke. I absolutely loved him and I really hope to see him again. He's very sly, possessive, silly, slimy, like everything that you kind of want in that character. Now, as I said, when he played Harold, he was very over the top and funny. He does put that comedic edge into the Duke, but it's so much different the way he does it. The main sort of laugh that the Duke always gets is when he says hot ride, which is quite funny. He nailed that delivery so well. Now, with him being a bit more slimy, Dean isn't like what you'd call conventionally attractive, and he is older than Natalie, or at least looks older. So it makes him a little bit more grim with the fact that he wants to marry this young whore and, you know, own this business where she's from, which is essentially, you know, the Moulin Rouge. It's a place where people can be themselves, show their bodies, share their bodies, sell their bodies, you know. It makes it more, I guess, believable that Satine doesn't want to marry him. His singing was a lot stronger as well in this role. I feel like when he's not trying to be over the top silly, he can really concentrate on his voice, and he had such a strong voice for the Duke. So like I said, I really hope I see Dean as the Duke again because he was phenomenal. And maybe, like, my favourite portrayal I've seen, I don't like to shout favourites a lot, just because I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to everyone else. Just so you know, I do love everyone who has played this role so far, but I feel like Dean takes the cake for me. Right, after that little break at the Moulin Rouge, I'm gonna get back to Stranger Things, talking about my Henry Creel and Dr. Brenner from January. Back to Stranger Things. This is January. We're gonna pretend this is January. Where my show was not ruined. The only two different actors I had were for Henry Creel and Dr. Brenner. So starting with Dr. Brenner, we had Luke Mullins. He apparently was just an emergency cover that they had. Joshua James is like the properly cast one. He was just there for a couple months, I guess an emergency cover. Someone told me front of house, which I actually thought was really cool. I love seeing covers, emergency covers. You know, I think it's important as theatre fans that we respect how much work goes into being a cover. Now, Luke is the closest version that I've seen to the show version of Dr. Brenner. He's very cold, creepy, emotionless, and very possessive of Henry, because he sees him as like his new prize, you know, and it's very grim what he does to him, but he's hoping to sort of build up an army of these kids, which he does, and kind of fails, but good effort. Because he was a little bit more deadpan and emotionless and overall just really creepy, whenever he shouted or got really angry, it was so shocking to hear it from him. That actually scared me a couple times, I will admit, but I absolutely loved his portrayal. His anger was mostly directed towards Henry, but I feel like he was angry at himself as well for doing what he's doing, you know. What he's doing isn't good, but he's just so upset with everything and he wants answers, and he's someone that is emotionally damaged, and, you know, I feel like he portrayed this perfectly. The emotionless sort of side of him is very much like how I am when I'm in a situation I don't want to be in. I just completely blank out, so I feel like it shows a lot of his deeper personality as well. But yeah, he was the closest I've seen to the show Martin Brenner, but all portrayals are good portrayals. Next, I'm going to be talking about my Henry Creel cover for January. He was played by Harry Ames. Harry is a lot creepier, but he does have a soft side. His creepiness, like, overall makes it really funny when he's trying to fit in with the other kids. But it means Patty's the one that actually kind of brings him down to earth a lot more. And you see the sort of contrast between how he behaves with other children and how he behaves with Patty. And for their relationship to be seen as something in the show, I feel like that dynamic is really good for them, and I think it works really well. I just think their relationship was really cute when I saw them. Harry is absolutely terrifying. Like, the first scene you see of him, I know those people behind me were annoying, but they did make a good point. One of them said out loud that he was terrifying, so got the point across. But I do wish that I would have been able to focus on these actors a lot more, because I don't really have much to say about them because I was so distracted. But him and Miranda were so cute together as Patty and Henry, especially like the dream sequence where he shows her what she wants in a dream and she wants to be free and to see her mother again. Like, it's a really beautiful scene and it's done really well. It's done in a very sort of cheesy way, but I feel like that's the whole vibe of the show. So Harry was amazing, and I hope maybe I'll see him again one day so I can actually focus on what he's doing. That would be great. Don't talk in a fucking theatre. I'm still mad about that. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to Hamilton now. Enjoy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Will, we're here. Oh my god. They have costumes from the show. I haven't been in this building in a while. Last time I came here it was all green for Wicked. So that's cool. Well guys, I am officially back at Hamilton after like 2 years. As you know, I saw it in London. That was literally my first vlog ever. And now I'm at the Mayflower seeing it with you guys and with my boyfriend, my willing boyfriend, who has so graciously decided to join me.
Am I willing?
As you may or may not know.
Cut that part out, cut that part out.
As you may or may not know, Shaq, who used to be in the Book of Mormon, is playing John Lawrence and Philip in this touring production, and I'm so excited to see him. I would show you like the seat and the set and everything else. The safety curtain's up. Don't know when it's gonna come up, but when it does, I'll definitely show you. We're in the Grand Circle. We're in the balcony. Every theatre has a different name for it. Lovely seats, bit far away, but worth the price. So when the safety curtain comes up, I'll show you my seat. Our seat. We've got a set, people, so I'm going to show you my view now. So we were seated in the upper circle, or the Grand Circle, or whatever it's called at the Mayflower, for the price. Not terrible. Not fantastic either. So it's about 5 minutes till the show's gonna start. Are you okay?
I'm alive.
Good enough for me. We're just gonna enjoy Act 1 and I'll catch you guys in the interval to give you all an update. I'm filming the interval in this echoey stairwell because there's no one here and no one's gonna judge me unless they come up the stairs, in which I will take a break. But I am loving it. I forgot, I mean, I knew I loved it. Like, Yorktown is my favourite song in the whole show. I just forgot how fucking cool that dance break looks on stage. Now, Shaq has my entire heart. He is amazing. I haven't really looked into names yet, so I do apologise, but this guy, the guy playing Hamilton, has so many great little quirks that he does. Like, he's really good. King George is so hilarious. Like, he's so silly and funny, and he's really showing the madness a lot more than like Jonathan Groff or anyone else I've really seen. Like, he has a little funny walk and he just does a lot of silly things, and I love him for that. Bauer is amazing. He's got this great strength to his voice, which really works. I am having a fantastic time. I'm not sure if I'm fast enough to really compare this to the London cast that I saw, because that was 2 years ago, but I will definitely give my thoughts and feelings because I love this cast so far. But I'm gonna head back to my seat to find Will again. He's loving it. I'll probably try and film the curtain call, and I'll see you afterwards.
it's that time to talk about the Hamilton tour that I saw at the Mayflower Theatre with my lovely boyfriend Will. Obviously, Shaq Mansell James, who you know from the Book of Mormon, and who I know from the Book of Mormon, is in this tour. So I'm going to be a little biased and talk about him first. So he was playing John Lawrence and Philip Schuyler, or Philip Hamilton, sorry, Philip Schuyler is the dad. He was playing John Lawrence and Philip, okay? So his John Lawrence was very confident, snarky, he had a great relationship and friendship with the guy playing Hamilton. With their close relationship, and a lot of people saying that in history Hamilton and Lawrence were quite close. You know, they were friends. Maybe boyfriends, who knows. I think it's very symbolic that then the actor that's played John Lawrence goes on to play Hamilton's son. I think it just shows that Hamilton's passing his knowledge and his friend's knowledge and his values all down to his child. Shaq killed it as Philip. His voice for a 9-year-old was so funny and adorable. And at the end of his little rap, when he's, you know, turning 9 and it's his birthday, and it's a really cute scene, he fully jumped on Hamilton, and yeah, it was really funny, and he's very entertaining. His vocals were amazing, and between John Lawrence and Philip, he had amazing character contrast, which, when you're doubling up as characters, I feel like contrast is one of the most important things, and he nailed it. Moving on to Louis Maskell as King George. I have already said how much I love this King George. He wasn't afraid to be silly at all. He had a really funny walk that he kept doing, and he had great mannerisms, great vocals, great characteristics. Overall, I'm gonna say, as a UK audience, I feel like the UK audience tend to like King George a lot more than US audiences. Will, for example, said that during the Reynolds pamphlet, all he could focus on was Louis. He was doing a really silly dance, and I know he's kind of involved in that number, which I think is really fun. And I like the fact that King George watches over certain parts of the show. It just shows that the King's always watching, he's in control, he's always there. I think that's a really good detail, and I love a turntable. So I love this show. Next up, we're talking about Elizabeth Schuyler turned Hamilton, played by Katie Alshasky. I hope I'm saying her name right. I absolutely love the contrast that Eliza has between Act 1 and Act 2. Act 1, if you think solely about Helpless as a song, she's very naive, she's very in love, and she's very, very susceptible to Hamilton's charm. So moving on to Act 2, when you have Burn, Casey did talk singing, as I like to call it. I don't really think that's the official term, but you know what I mean. I think for that song specifically, it does work quite well. Obviously you do have the belty parts at the end, and she still nailed that. But I like having the talk singing for angry and emotional numbers, because it really conveys the emotion a lot more. I think I touched on this when I saw Alex Tranter as Christian in Moulin Rouge when he does Crazy Rolling and Roxanne. He talk sings through his anger and his emotion, and Katie did this, and Burn brought me to tears, and it never usually does that, so good job. But yeah, she had amazing vocals. I loved her contrast between Act 1 and Act 2. I thought she was amazing. I was this close to being done with the video that you just watched. Then I realised I totally forgot to talk about Billy Nevers as Aaron Burr. I'm gonna make this as quick as I can, but I absolutely love Aaron Burr as a character. I think the switch between Act 1 and Act 2, the overall conflict, I think it's very interesting to watch, especially an actor having to portray a character going through so much betrayal and change. You know, the first time we meet Aaron Burr in Aaron Burr, he's very much amused by Hamilton and his efforts and his ambitions, and he tries to help him, you know, he tries to give him tips and ideas, and that makes Hamilton ultimately kind of go off the rails and do his own thing. Burr doesn't like that, and I think Room Where It Happens and Wait For It are some of the best songs in the entire show, and Billy executed them perfectly. He did the same sort of thing that we saw Eliza do, where he sort of talk sings through the anger, and I love when performers do that. I know, you know, it's a song and you expect them to be belting it the entire time, but I absolutely love that sort of raw emotion when they do that. So yeah, ultimately his performance was really good, and his relationship / conflict with Marley playing Hamilton was really well executed, and I absolutely loved him. Aaron Burr has to be probably the strongest presence on that stage, and he absolutely nailed it. Fantastic voice, fantastic stage presence and characterization, and yeah, I absolutely loved him. Now moving on to the real deal, we have Marley Fenton as Alexander Hamilton. I would describe him as young, scrappy and hungry, especially in Act 1. He's very silly, he's very quirky, he's very, very bold in Act 1. Act 1, he's very young and mischievous and gets in a lot of trouble, let's just say that. He has his own silly quirks, especially during Farmer Refuted. I don't like that song as much on the soundtrack, but when you're seeing it performed live and you've got the two actors going back and forth, it's quite entertaining, especially with Marley's quirks and his characterization. He was very much young boy who was way in over his head about his abilities and what he wanted to achieve. In Act 2, he becomes very cocky, very arrogant, and that's because he's been getting his way for a long, long time, and he's been having this battle with Aaron Burr pretty much the whole show. So the way that escalates is quite intense, I'd say, especially with how it ends. You know, Burr shoots Hamilton in the end. But before that, we cut to Quiet Uptown, where his son dies and he sort of rekindles his relationship with Eliza. I absolutely love Hamilton's ending monologue before he dies. Marley did such a good job at delivering it. I feel like he really understood the words. He knew when to speed up, slow down when the bullet was coming towards him. I just think he's a really powerful character in the show. Moving on to Chastity Crisp as Angelica Schuyler. I absolutely love this woman to death. She is so good. She's such a strong female figure in the show. She has the perfect vocals for Angelica Schuyler. It's deep, it's rich, it's motherly. We see from the Schuyler sisters that she is the leader of the trio. You know, she's very much a mother figure to her two younger sisters, especially Eliza during Helpless and Satisfied. She is extremely protective, and when she comes back after the whole cheating scandal, you know, she's not here for Hamilton, she's there for her sister, and she's always going to be there for her sister. I think she's such a strong role in the show, and Chastity killed it. Next we have Castell Parker as George Washington. I absolutely love him as a character in the show. Obviously I'm saying the word character, I know they're actual people, and they were actual people, but in the context of the show, I absolutely love him. I think he's such an important figure in the show, especially to Hamilton taking on that fatherly role. He's very fatherly, bold, spirited, kind. He can yell though. Like, if he gets really pissed off, he can yell. One Last Time absolutely killed me. It's such an emotional song. And my theory, and a lot of other theories that I've seen online, say that that is George Washington's death scene. George Washington's Going Home is the lyric that kind of insinuates that to me. It's a very powerful song and I absolutely love it. It made me cry my eyes out. Parker had such strong vocals and he absolutely killed that song. We're going to move on to some honourable mentions, mainly Jefferson, Lafayette, Hercules Mulligan and Madison, and Peggy / Maria. Again, these are all double up roles. I just want to talk about them really quickly. We had Ashley Daniels as Lafayette and Jefferson. I absolutely love this guy. His tonal shift with both characters was so well done. He was very sassy, funny. He had amazing chemistry with the cast. Guns and Ships, what did I miss? Some of the best songs in the show, in my opinion, and he nailed it. Kim Drew Boateng was our Mulligan and Madison. He is such a funny character to me. I feel like Hercules Mulligan at the beginning is very, very bold and he's very funny and sassy and he absolutely killed the role so much. Like I said about Ashley, great cast chemistry as a quadruple. You know, you got Hamilton, John Lawrence, Lafayette and Mulligan. They're kind of the main guy group at the start, you know, and Burr's very left out. And I feel like that's like the start of the conflict between Alexander and Burr. And finally, Naomi Catino was our Peggy Schuyler / Maria Reynolds. She was so good. I mean, in Schuyler Sisters, she's very young, happy, innocent. And then Mariah Reynolds, the complete shift of character, being very alluring and sexy, and she pulled it off so well, and her voice was amazing. But yeah, that's gonna cut it for this video. If you enjoyed it, obviously I never do this, but make sure to subscribe and keep updated with the channel for new videos coming out. I try and upload as best and as quickly as possible. Sometimes life just gets in the way of stuff. That's how it works if you don't do this full time. But I really enjoy doing this, and the next time you see me, I believe it's a Book of Mormon trip. So stay tuned for that. It's actually Book of Mormon, West End Flea Market, and I saw Shucked at the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, which was so fun. So I can't wait to show you guys that. But stay tuned. I'll see you next time.